I bet it was.
Okay,
No, that Bull's beauty.
we'll call a meeting to order.
Okay, so let's see what we can.
7:15. Approve the minutes, March 16, 23. In Selectmen's Meeting. In March 20th, 2023 for a special Selectmen's Meeting. Make a motion that we approve those minutes.
I second that.
All in favor?
Yeah. Here you go, my friend. Thank you. So it's just one signature here, and the other two signatures are on the other page. A whole butt wiggle and everything. Just love that. She's so.
Okay. Approve warrant 19 and payroll warrants for March 22nd, March 29, and April 5th. I make a motion that we approve the above.
Second.
All in favor? Yeah.
You'll want that one too, I don't doubt. Eventually, that's. I know, not bad.
Have a good night. Say hi to the kids. And have girls. She's got the cutest little girls. There she is.
RSU 10 report. Nothing. You guys on Zoom, can you hear us? You doing anything?
No, let me give a thumbs up.
Let's assign something.
Yeah, no, it's my stuff. My packet.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
Road report. State of Maine winter salt purchase.
We need to think about that already.
I think they just want to know if we're interested. It doesn't bind us to ordering or to accepting.
We'll know if we're interested in it. Bidding.
This is from whom, the DOT?
I don't know.
You know, I don't know, seems to me that we've done the best with AdCog, but I heard some complaint this year about, it's a
Delivering.
different company.
It says if we apply, will we be required to accept the bid price and vendor offer? The answer is no. You have 14 days to respond, accept the bid.
And is that for salt or culverts?
Salt.
So I noticed there's a culvert thing too.
Yeah, that's something.
Don't know.
What did Bim say about this?
Yeah, the doctor's appointment this afternoon, so I don't know if he has
I don't know if
Had a
he's even
chance to
seen
read
this.
it.
But he's been around and.
Oh, I
he
know,
could've
I
seen
see
it
now, it's
before.
March 24th.
I mean, we might have seen this, if we came in on March 27th, right?
We could always say, we might never say, and then we can move that to.
Yep.
Well, as long as we don't, yeah, as long as we don't forget. So,
I know, Bill, you say last year? Not this past winter, but the winter before, Sumner got a way cheaper deal through the state than we were getting.
No,
oh, no
really?
kidding.
He kept saying, why didn't we go with the state? I don't know.
Bim said that?
Yeah.
Well,
Well, it seems like if we get a better price, we're allowed to go
well,
get
as it
that.
says, was this good, is this necessarily the best deal? No. It may or may not be beneficial for your town or county to be part of the state bid. This is what needs to be carefully considered.
I don't know when AvCog starts theirs. Hopefully it's around the same time for the computer.
Mm,
And when do we have to answer this by?
It said May.
April 28th.
Oh, yeah, but then bid is expected to be posted mid-May. The results should be emailed to you in early June.
But, so, it says here, this is necessarily the best deal, no. The apply will be required to accept the bid price and vendor offered. The 14 calendar days to respond to it says.
So once we accept the price, we can't shop around.
So if we apply, we'll be required to accept the bid price and vendor offered. No, you'll have 14 calendar days to respond to accept or reject the bid price and vendor. If we have not received an email from you by the end of that period, your town will not be able to participate this year. No exceptions.
It sounds like we need to start shopping right away so that we have a price to compare to theirs.
AvCog does the other.
Yeah, if you choose to participate, we've done AvCog every year for a long time. On the other hand, I did hear that Ben was less satisfied with the vendor this year. It says here, if you choose to participate in this process, can we use the state price to shop around for a better price? If you accept the state low bid price, you'll be formally under contract and cannot use those same salt quantities in other co-op bids for the same season in an attempt to get better price.
So you got 14 days after the price comes out. So if he's already shopping, if he gets some requests out in plenty of time, he'll know that price before the
Well,
state price comes out.
AvCog does it though.
Yeah,
Right,
we've never actually done the shopping.
we don't
Let
shop.
No, AvCog is an organization that works for
oh, I
us.
know,
We pay the dues and they do the work.
but I know who Babcock is, yeah.
So, AvCog is, how we've bought our salt for as long as I can remember, just about.
So, but doesn't AvCog receive funding from the state of Maine and they're like or is it more of a government agency? This is the state and this is,
It's the local council of governments. It's just like KVCog
yeah,
or any of these other council of governments, and it's a matter of, in the case of salt purchase, it's just a matter of, putting together a group purchase so that they get
Yeah.
a better deal.
We pay AvCog, annual dues.
right,
Yeah, I don't
yeah.
think they're receiving any state funding. I think that it's pretty much all funded through membership dues, membership towns.
Right,
And pretty much all the towns in the county are members. Canton never was until they had that project with the dam. And then AvCog turned out to be so handy that they became members because they wanted that.
they had a need, right.
Oh, yes, they did. So, they really stood out in a map of AdCog. They stood out as the,
Wouldn't hurt to say.
But we're interested,
hmm,
then we can back
We know
out
when the
afterwards.
AvCog price is gonna begin?
Haven't heard anything yet.
so what I guess I'd like to suggest, I mean, it seems like, oh yeah, well, then we should definitely say yes. And, we should say yes to this, but then once the price comes out,
2
you know,
weeks.
are we going to have an alarm set so that we remember that we have 2 weeks to accept or reject? I mean, you know, if we say yes to this tonight, we will decide that we'll see what we can do with it. But, you know, it's like, you know, if we reject it,
And this is
then,
the state, so AvCog, we have no idea when that bid's gonna come in.
you know, I mean,
Right.
we might have asked before tonight and then we'd know when it's gonna come in.
We put it on the calendar board.
I can go look at last year's. Run that one.
Yeah, yeah, no,
You always put it on the board when it comes near time.
Well, it has to be on the agenda for
Mm-hmm.
approval.
Yeah.
So we can just make sure it's on the first agenda in June. Or last one in May.
Yep.
We put the first one in June.
In June.
Yeah, so the bid result will be mailed to you in early June. So, yes or no?
I make a motion, we accept to see what the price is and see if it's comparable.
Yeah, second it. All in favor? In favor, Lee?
yeah, I guess so.
As long as
guess,
we
you
remember,
know,
we'll remember.
well, one of the,
stipulations,
let's hope so. The other thing is, having accepted this, you know, we can then do the research and find out when the AvCog bid is actually coming out.
Mhm.
Also, we can consult with the road commissioner who
Right.
has an interest in this.
Great.
Because this past year, I know we had a hard time getting the salt that was due us. The guy
Yeah, he had a hard
like,
time.
broken equipment and couldn't get it here, and there was a delay.
Okay, I did not hear about that so much. I heard that things were not going overly well, but I didn't hear any specific complaints.
I think it's only because I went up there and I go, where's all our salt? So I think, Ben, where's all our salt?
Okay,
No, the road certainly got plenty of it. It seems to me that-
AvCog, joint purchase of culverts.
Actually, for quotes, want me to let them deal with it?
Uh,
You would like to receive quotes from someone?
Mhm.
why not? But, you know, again, you know, there's all these lists of what we might need, and that is definitely
Him.
up Bim's alley.
Yep. Okay. Constable report. Anything? None? CEO. Nothing?
Quiet time again.
I think they had a vacation recently. so
ACO,
Probably not too much.
unlicensed dog warrant.
I have you all sign that, so I can send letters out,
Mm-hmm.
but, we talked to Ronnie. She was supposed to stop in
Oh,
Saturday,
oh, she'd be there first thing on Saturday.
never showed up. We've had unlicensed dogs year after year, the same ones year after year, nothing being enforced, so, and she told Lee that the law had changed, there's no more warrants.
What she said was, when she went to training, she was told that it was unwise to just walk right up to every door without, I mean, not knowing, whether it was, the kind of household where,
A pit bull. is a
sheriff,
problem right there.
or sheriff's escort is required, I think the pit bulls are less trouble than the people sometimes. Yeah.
Right.
True. Although some of the people are pit bulls too,
Mhm.
evidently. But,
But we do need to follow up because dogs that are unlicensed and chasing other dogs, it's just one of the complaints,
right,
besides letters, because those people just throw them on the floor.
There's quite a
so,
few.
so in any case, I have an update on, we had some discussion last night that had to do with animal control. And I told you I would write to, Cozy Kennels.
Mhm,
And so this is what I heard from her this morning. Can I read this to you?
mhm.
Love that.
Morning. I'm not interested in renewing the shelter services. Having a shelter has been a huge financial burden. I love helping animals and will continue to rescue, but not as a shelter. Thanks for the consideration. Also, I have no interest in becoming the ACO as I received a few messages asking for me to step into that position as well. Steve, the ACO for Peru and Mexico, is interested. And then he has something about, she has his number here. I don't know anything about that, and frankly, I don't know that we're actually actively looking for a new ACO either, although, you know, we've heard some complaints. So that is, you know, and that was that. If we wanted to have a new ACO, I don't know that what we do is to, just contact some guy. I think we'd have to actually probably have to post the opening. But we could also let that person know if anyone wanted to go to the trouble of looking into how things are going in Mexico and in Peru. So that's another possibility, something to just, you know, put that in your pipe and smoke it. I think what it said was,
So it's Peru too?
Mexico
yes,
and Peru.
Mexico and Peru. Here. Do you want a number?
If you got it, sure.
It says new ACO Mexico, although who knows when, at what point she wrote that says new. Paris?
2206. I'm gonna actually call the,
Makes
Two
anybody
towns.
wonder how new he is. He might be new from away too, because 269
yeah, that's right.
is out of state. Well, in the case, it's something to, you know, something to
Sometimes,
consider.
sometimes out
So
of
my,
towners just don't move
my
back.
thinking is, it could be, but the other thing is that, and if, so what if somebody was from away? I mean,
Right, if they're willing
So
to
what's God
enforce the
knows?
rules. I don't know,
but-
I just feel
but
like every time we deal with the ACO, there's an excuse why the job can't be done lately.
there's been a
That's
lot of
what calls up
excuses
there.
and we've had some complaints. And you know, people calling her up and saying, oh, well, you should step into that job. Well, it's not something you just step into. You'd have to be appointed as the ACO. You'd have to be hired for that job. It's not something that one just
Right,
picks off the tree. But that said, my thinking on that is not to call this guy up so much as to
no,
call,
no, I'm not
call
calling.
Mexico
Mhm,
and,
Call Mexico.
call
and call
Mexico
Peru.
and Peru and ask about, yep, how it's going.
I'm also, we asked for an ACO report, and I know I've only been here since July, but I've yet to ever see an ACO report. Unless I somehow forgotten that. one came
No,
in.
well, I don't know that we've ever had ACO reports handed to us by the ACO. It's usually,
Excuse me?
well, maybe years ago, but it hasn't been since. I mean, we didn't have actually,
I
the
know,
ACO showed up when it was Ranger Rick. He
Oh,
showed
that's
up.
good, didn't he?
I'm just thinking,
He showed up.
we are paying these people, we ought to know what's going on in our town. Did they pick up 3 cats this month? Did they do this or that. I don't care if
Yes,
they
and
don't
get-
come every
yeah,
week, but
see,
every
you know,
month.
yeah, it'd be nice to know something other than just getting the bill.
Right.
So the unlicensed dogs, if they
If we can ask
ignore
for
letters
the
that they're
fire
sent
warden
out,
report, Sure.
Mhm.
or do we send them out?
Yeah, I sent letters out, had a few people come in. Because it warns them.
Right, I
for
was,
some
there- I
reason.
was in the office when somebody called up.
Yeah, we got a few. But that's where it stands, and then it rolls over to next year, and I can't charge for prior years, so it just keeps rolling over and rolling over.
Right, I mean, I'm very quick to license my dog because I want her to be returned to me if if she becomes missing.
Mm-hmm.
But evidently, a lot of
There's a
people
lot of them
But
out there.
how about if the ACO goes out with a constable, since the constable doesn't have a lot going on right now? Just a thought,
Yeah.
ACO and the constable could go out and knock on doors and
well, he is
say,
a big guy.
yes, he is.
Well, it used to be, you would call, whoever had a phone number, we would call them, they've got their letters. And you call,
Get your butt in here and register your
the ones that
dog.
don't have phone numbers, you go visit.
But you had some fun with that.
But the ACO or the constable just seems like they don't have a lot going on. It would be,
You could try that, I guess,
Yeah.
huh?
I'm not sure how many towns Ronnie has. I think there's quite a few.
Make sure there's West Paris, South Paris.
but we
Yes,
still
yes,
pay
South
her to do a
Paris.
job, and
Right.
Right,
we should
Um,
expect her to do it.
right, sure enough, regardless of how many towns she has, but you know, it's, I'm just saying. Sound like South Paris might keep somebody busy.
Yep,
Just a thought.
we pay her 100 and something a month, right?
It's $150, $150 a month, yeah. That's just the retainer though. You know, we also pay her mileage and et cetera, et cetera.
Listen to
I've
this.
never had her submit any
Mileage.
invoice for mileage since I've been done.
Hmm.
Or any cat fees or anything like that?
They go to the shelter,
Do we not pay the shelter?
yes.
Okay,
The shelter invoices us though.
responsible pet parent.
Suppose we could try that to see if it
I just think,
works,
you know,
pans out.
we've
What?
got two people that could, I
Send
mean,
her to
so they
Steve.
could even divide the calls. Right, between Steve and the ACO, I forgot her name already.
So they have 7
Ronnie.
days,
Ronnie, thank you.
they have 7 days from the date of the letter I sent. So then you would sit down and call or visit and issue a summons. You know,
Well, you know, I think it's a little bit like any other thing. If there's a rule and there's like no teeth to enforce it, then it's a more or less a waste of time. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's my take on it anyway.
Okay, so you've already
Could
got the
we
letters.
contact Ronnie
right?
and the
They've already
constable
got
to
the
work
letters out.
together to contact the list of those we have phone calls, phone numbers for?
I emailed it to her. But, cause I knew she would. But I have it,
How many dogs are we talking?
they were probably,
Quite a few.
45,
yeah.
I can tell you exactly because I
45.
was looking at the list when I called her. Well, the 45 names, there might have been some people that have more than one dog.
And I've probably taken care of 10 of them or so.
There was 45 people listed. 45, the list,
So-
the list was 45, but some of them I know had multiple.
Okay, so the letters have been sent out, so we gotta wait a week.
Right, but I think in preface to that, that we contact Ronnie and Steve and say, here's the deal. We've got 45 people, so many of these,
35, we think she
35
said she's
people,
over 10.
yeah, that need to be contacted regarding dog licenses. For those that we don't have numbers or don't have information, they're gonna need to have a door-to-door stop. We'd like you to do this together.
Seems fair enough to me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
like you said, teeth. And if somebody gets hurt and we have this person on the list and we haven't done anything, I think that the town could be somewhat
You
responsible
know, and,
if
and,
we take the
and,
effort.
and the fact of the matter is, you know, not every dog owner is a great dog owner.
No. No, they're not.
And, oh man, there's something on the local Facebook just the other day. Somebody was walking along and got attacked by, that wasn't local,
We have to have
that was
that
actually
motion.
South Paris.
I was gonna say.
Two,
just
two,
happened a
two
month
black
or two.
dogs came charging out.
Shall we meet with her to let her know what?
Ron?
What if we meet with both of them?
We could meet with both of them, or we could just tell them what needs to happen. You know,
Okay, don't matter either way.
I don't just want to drag her back over here just to meet with us. I mean, it seems to me that we could contact her. I mean, when I saw the dog warrant, I called her right up and I texted her and said, call me when you get a chance, and my phone lit up like almost immediately. So, I mean, she can be contacted. And that just happens to be that I have her cell phone number too, which is not a publicly,
You wanna get a
not
hold of her?
publicly available. What?
You want to get it, you want to ask her?
Can. So what exactly am I going to tell her?
We would like these 35 people contacted.
Okay,
Meet with Steve, have Steve go with her, in case there's any trouble.
And for those people that can't be contacted by phone, we have an address. Do you want me to call Steve? And do the same? I want you to work with
sure.
Ronnie.
Okay, so we have heard from 10 owners. This is correct. We'll get to, so if the 45 is down to 35,
Mm-hmm,
and for a whole bunch of them, we have numbers.
mm-hmm.
And,
Letters have been sent out already.
excuse me.
I heard that.
Updated on the list, and they come in.
Yeah.
so
Speaking of animal control.
You have to get it updated.
Yeah.
What's going on?
But it would mean her actually having contact with the office, which would be good.
I don't know if she's seen my emails or not. She doesn't respond.
And she calls me and says, before they complain, I'm letting you know, and I'm like,
Oh, really?
yeah. She told me about an interaction with the police and the person on the corner of Pratt Hill Road and Mahoney Road. And but she didn't want it all to fall on her, and
Hmm. Everybody's still good on there?
Sarah, do you want to skip a week? Yeah, long meeting.
There's nobody here. There's just nobody here but us. It's true. She's okay. She's fine. No,
she's a totally
Arthur-
legal dog, you know,
Arthur-
she's licensed and everything.
licensed and shipped and everything. But Arthur was across the street by the mailbox.
Doing something, yeah.
With a
Oh, so she's
flashlight
defending
creeping
their
there.
car.
He was just doing her job. Or defending us.
Yeah,
She doesn't bark very often though. So that's why
I know, I heard, I'm
kept,
like,
Okay, we got that all set.
okay, we have
can I ask something else of you, Lee?
What?
When you talk to,
maybe Ronnie.
when you talk to Ronnie, could you ask her to submit a monthly report of her activities?
I can.
Either for the first of the month or the previous month, or the, she doesn't, we'll do it the second week, or the second select board, but.
Planning board report, anything?
I did
And this
get
could be.
minutes from the planning board from last month, but I did not put a copy of just that. They're on the website.
Yeah, good.
So,
Good.
I'm talking about the warrant.
Oh, yeah. I attended the planning board meeting the other night.
Yeah, how'd you like it?
I
Good.
thought it went pretty well. The team worked well
I
together.
was so sorry. I
They
couldn't
talked
attend.
about, the addendum for the shoreline zoning and that, basically she'd missed the change in the final order last year, so they want to change it this year, and, they specifically talked about, the Goodwin's well drilling gentleman on Bear Pond, and he's already submitted that he wants to do a subdivision, even though he said down the road, now he's already submitted that, and he's gonna be,
You submitted it to who?
well, he's notified the people on the planning board. Or someone did
He
that,
hasn't paid any fees.
no,
Application.
so he's given them the heads up that he is putting in for a subdivision there.
Oh, the guy on the,
Yeah, even though he said, no, no,
oh,
no.
we knew it all
course we did.
along for crying
Yeah,
out
Yeah.
loud.
this is a
really.
lot sooner than what he had
Really is.
said to them after he got, once it got mentioned to him.
What a bunch of crap. I knew it all along.
And some of the stuff that he wanted, suggested for that it would always stay a private road because it's never gonna meet code. That it would be each one of the property owners in there, and he's talking 4 houses to start. And that they would all be responsible for paying in to take care of that private road versus a homeowners association or anything like that.
Well, that is, they may not be what you call it a homeowner association. It's also sometimes known as a road
Road
association.
association, right?
But, yeah, you know.
But that's gonna be written
But,
into the deed is what.
That's,
he
that, you
mentioned
know,
to-
when I saw that road being carved up down towards the lake, I just thought it's just, the worst thing that could happen, but how many people, code officer, BIM, oh, no, it's just this one guy's private home. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
No, Ben said it's a pretty wide road for one home down there.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, and you know something, I said it in the beginning and I knew it all along.
Well, I heard it,
And everybody was looking at me.
I heard
like,
at Food City from someone who's related to Mr. Goodwin. And to Goodwin's well drilling, and they said, oh, well, we're gonna have one of those houses down there, and I perked right up, I'm thinking, I'm a select board member, and I'm hearing this right here in the
Well,
Food City
actually,
line.
just remember, you heard it here first.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't want to believe me,
Well,
but you
I
heard it here
I met
first.
him out here, Mr., what's his name, Izzy?
Good. Goodwin.
And I had seen all the water runoff, and I'd been down there at the time, and I mentioned to him that I thought I heard specifically at Food City from a family member of his that it was going to be a subdivision. He goes, oh, that's down the road. That's way down the road.
Yeah, and we know which road it's down
Yeah,
to.
less than like,
Subdivision.
8 months.
You know,
Road
the thing,
paved,
that's the catch.
paved.
Oh, man, just take a look at that subdivision ordinance. It's gonna have to be paved and top coated and, oh, yeah.
and the trees cut that are closer to the water, there's a
And on
huge
top
amount
of
of
that,
rules.
do you,
He spent a
do
long time looking at that.
you remember me saying that, you know, this road needs to be engineered? Oh, no.
No, he hired engineering.
And
I know David Bragg had to have his road paved, that one he's got on Fields Hill.
Well,
what are you talking about?
I did
Subdivision
hire
on
a
Fields Hill.
engineering firm for the road,
Halfway up.
whether he's
No.
completed the road.
I just drove that
progress,
the
but
other day.
he
And
didn't
it's
hire
sure
a-
not paved.
Pine. Up here is.
Well, we know
Oh,
we hired
well,
a.
yeah, because
engineering firm out of Livermore.
that one, we had a very sharp planning board that sat on those folks until they did it. I mean, that was the thing.
I did.
I'm not
mention
sure we
him.
have the same kind of a planning board now.
I mentioned, because right where the very beautiful Leanne is sitting, Larry Drew was sitting, and I said, I know when you committed to being on the planning board, you had mentioned that you thought you could only serve a year, and I am sure hoping that you would reconsider that. And the planning board members go, really, just a year? And he goes, oh, I'm considering it. I'm like, yay. So, because they're gonna need him. And all the tree issues down there on the side of the water and. Yeah,
Tim Kerwin has his hand up.
Go ahead, Tim.
Good evening, folks. Where is the location of this particular development you're discussing right now? You keep talking about waterfront. Is it on a lake or a river, or where is it? The subdevelopment you're talking about?
Before I contact her on this, I'm writing my script here already.
mhm.
We might want to check to make sure that in fact it's legal for us to send our guns to once.
Can you all hear me?
We used to be able to.
I wonder if that's something that, constable is appropriate for her when she had that.
Sort of a special thing, does it?
Right, but I was
She
just,
thinks of herself as
Yeah.
quasi law enforcement.
all right, well. I don't.
So
think
where
there's
is,
like a
where
standard
exactly
rule
is
at this
the
point. I think
subdevelopment?
that They said that people are, just had something in paper about how they end up having to bring someone with them in South Paris. But I know a guy who was just attacked like this morning by a dog. Out walking, and the dog was out walking with its owner and took off after the, walking.
Everybody.
yeah, not good.
We heard Richard from the other meeting, but I don't know why I can't hear him.
He's not muted?
No.
I'm not, yeah, can you all hear me? Hello? Hello, hello, hello?
There's something on the back of there that we do.
Can you hear me now?
Oh,
Oh, yay!
All right. But when all else fails, push the plug in. Yeah, is it on Little Bear? Is that where this subdevelopment you're all talking about?
Yes, next to Camp Wakila.
Okay, because I was talking to Pete Angel about the new launch rules and regs for Bear Pond, and I don't know if y'all have been apprised of that, but if not, there are
Yes,
some.
We have got a copy, I think we've got a copy in our packet of the Bear Pond,
the new boat
newsletter.
launch. And Tim, I live on Bear Pond. And
I know,
I'm
I know.
PIA.
No, I know. So I understand it's moving over to the other side of the lake, and it's going to be association member only, pay to play, and
Good,
no public access. So
that is excellent. I'm happy to hear it.
that's the status as of now.
We have a copy of the newsletter in our packet. Maybe not.
Okay,
It was emailed to us though. Maybe it was the last week.
ordinance committee.
They haven't met.
Not.
No,
so
we haven't.
That's all last.
Oh,
No,
So I have a question about the ordinance committee, and since you've been attending these ordinance committee meetings, and I guess you have been too.
yeah, I have been here.
How many ordinances do you think they're gonna have ready in time to come to us so that we can read through
Town
them and
meeting?
approve them and get them ready for town meeting?
I think
went
one
over
for solid waste and one for, regarding the bulky pickup. And,
They went over the administrative ordinance amendments for me.
Mhm.
Us.
And he's going to meet with,
we're waiting for the state to get back to
So,
us about
no,
the
so
spring.
again, I understand waiting for this, waiting for that. I'm asking you, how many ordinances do you think they're gonna be able to have ready for us in time for town meeting?
At least one, maybe two. Three if the state guy comes.
oh,
So one being solid waste,
Yeah, one,
another being amendments to the administrative ordinance,
mhm.
mhm.
and the
Third
other
being
being
spraying,
no spray.
no spray.
That's the
Lack
one,
of spray.
that's the one that had over 100 signatures on the petition.
I understand.
Mhm.
And since I
And that was
specifically,
approved, right? That's not me.
Oh, yeah, it was, and then it was, when we were, it was basically shot down by the state. So we had to go over and do it over again, and then, well, then what happened, what pandemic, and then
Not,
whatever, in any case.
Marla had her hand up, she doesn't. It was.
How many people are in attendance at this time?
who's what?
Five.
Tim?
Marla, Sarah, Natasha, Lenny, and Tim.
Hi, everyone.
Hello,
Thanks for attending.
always try to.
Tim,
Yes, ma'am.
are you aware of the challenges at the prior boat launch that Mr. Gordon was operating?
On our lake,
Yeah, on Bear Pond?
I'm Bear. No, I'm not.
There are a lot of challenges, theft, camping, lack of payment. He's been running that boat launch for years and years. Ever since the state had proposed putting a boat launch in at the Turner Public Beach and wanting the Bear Pond Improvement Association to man the boat launch and the beach with a outhouse and a lifeguard and some pretty major things that the Bear Pond Improvement
A state-
Association
a
said, not
state-
on your life are
A
we gonna
state
do that.
launch wouldn't do that much to improve Bear Pond.
It would not.
No, I've been
And
there
so
on a
Mr. Gordon
business
had,
Sunday before now.
years and years ago agreed to and offered, and so the Bear Pond Improvement Association turned down the public boat launch, which is when the state stopped stocking the pond because they were unhappy with our choice. And I was actually too young then to be a part of that, but it was a while ago. And there's been several challenges and several problems at the boat launch over the last 10 years. and
Evidently, there have been a lot of exceptionally rude boat owners using that.
It's been horrible. I don't know how Mr. Gordon's lasted this long.
Well, I don't know. I tell you what, I think that having it be members only pay to play or residents only, whatever, pay to play is the best way to go. I was there visiting friends one Sunday afternoon and watched jet ski literally running through a troop of loons and just scattering them.
Because they didn't.
They couldn't care
have-
less.
Right, no education and no.
Well, you know, that, and they couldn't care less. They
Right.
couldn't care less. So
Well, the Bear
I-
Pond Improvement
But-
Association sends out
But
education.
to be specific, is it association member only access or resident only access? Because Lee just said both.
I did, and I think I think it's member access, but I don't know for sure.
They have to be, their membership actually includes Bear Pond Improvement Association membership as when they purchase to put on
Right.
the pond. And the boat launch is only gonna be open in the spring, like Memorial Day area. And in the fall after Labor Day, when Camp Berea closes.
Right, when people
Right.
take on,
So-
take out.
That'll be the only time they're allowed in, and they're gonna have to be a member of BPIA as part of their membership. And the boat goes in, and then the boat comes out once, they're not gonna be able
Right.
to.
So
no
it's not,
parking, no nothing.
This is
so it's
interesting.
not all
Yeah,
Hartford
no.
residents and it's not any other pay to play visitors. It's strictly association members, spring and fall, in and out.
That's my understanding.
Well, so in order to do it, you have to have a place to put your boat once you get it on the water.
I know.
And it includes your Bear Pond Improvement Association membership, so
Right.
anyone that has a place to put it on the water. Or moor it or whatever. And wants to pay the fee can put their boat on the pond.
Okay. I wanted to make sure you all knew. I knew you probably knew. I wasn't sure if everybody knew, and I didn't know if
Yeah.
it was of general interest to anyone else listening.
I'm not
So-
saying it's perfect, Tim.
Eight o'clock in the
Not
afternoon.
saying-
No, well, it's, nothing is. Ours isn't either.
As far as I
Okay.
know,
I
we
think-
have, as far as I
think
know,
to
we
start,
haven't.
we'll see how it goes and-
Yeah, that's fine. We have our own challenges.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Okay,
Fire warden report. Probably nothing.
Well, I don't know. We got so far off track that we lost our town clerk and our note taker.
Usually there isn't.
No, probably not. We certainly didn't get anything. And I see something about bank reconciliations for March,
Yeah.
but we'll have to come back to that because the town clerk is not here to do that part.
We can
And
go to calendar
Ken is
reminders.
not here to give us
Cemetery.
cemetery
They
report.
didn't meet. I know Rusty's on that committee and they did not meet.
Holy Moses, look at all the calendar reminders.
Okay, calendar reminders. Solid Waste Committee, April 11th, 7 o'clock.
Great notes. Thank you, Solid Waste Committee.
Budget meetings, April 12th and the 19th, 7 o'clock. 2020 tax liens foreclosure, April 15th. Mowing bid deadlines, April 15th, 1 p.m. Nomination papers deadline April 15th, 1 p.m. Town office is gonna be closed April 17th, Patriots Day. And there'll be a potluck lunch April 20th from 11 to 2 at the town hall. Okay, treasurer report,
The bank
bank reconciliation.
statements came in the mail this afternoon after I got back from my class. And
Okay,
maybe next meeting.
Yep.
Okay, great.
anybody got any questions on the calendar reminders? It's not.
Better not. It just is what it is.
Unfinished business. Legal counsel letters for junkyard violations. You got that?
All righty. Did I hand that one over to you? No, I guess that's here.
This is the corrected one for Main Street. You have the Bear Pond.
Mm-hmm. So this is just as located at Main Street.
Yeah, there's no address.
You know, I don't know why there would be if it was, it's not a dwelling. Section 6A of the Hartford Solid Waste Ordinance.
I had to correct one of the letters, just put it right on top of your pile.
Okay,
Oh, he's gonna love this.
Mm.
Oh,
Just what I was
so it says
thinking.
property located at Main Street in Hartford. I thought it was on 219 and Town Farm.
that's a different lot.
That
Oh, on the
one
corner.
is on top.
Got it. Yeah.
Because you also have this in your backyard.
Right, and the other one.
Yeah.
See,
here you go,
so the
like
place
this.
located on Main Street is, in fact, the corner of the same lot that it is on Town Farm, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's in our system, it's in-
So there's actually 3 letters to go out.
No,
Two
right,
properties.
I'm gonna send a copy to each owner of the Bear Pond.
Okay, because this one that said 1938 was actually the same what this says, man.
No,
Yeah, see? Because map R3 lot 8, map R3 lot 8 is on Main Street.
oh, gotcha.
The other one is 1938
Pond.
Bear Pond Road.
Yeah.
And that one does have have a, 911. It has a 911 address.
Yeah.
1938.
That's right.
And the letters themselves are basically, other than the address and the map and lot number, basically all same.
Same.
He's really gonna think we're picking on him now.
Yes,
He's already aware
suppose.
that this is coming.
Yeah, but you know, the thing of it is, he's been picking on us too.
Or he thinks we're.
Well, sure enough, and the fact of the matter is,
We should have been done years ago.
He has a
it
junkyard.
probably
He can
should have
bring
been
the
done
things
years
to his
ago, and
junkyard.
the other thing is that, attitude matters so much. And if he didn't come,
Okay.
if he didn't come in else with such a bad attitude,
He has
we
an
might-
operable junkyard. He could bring these things to that junkyard. Instead of,
We have to sign anything or sign.
There's
these.
need a motion, and
So,
then signature.
I make a motion that we accept these letters and to be sent out. Mr. Harlow,
yeah, I second that.
all in favor?
To here.
I like the letters.
Hmm.
Leanne, I think they're trying to do a good
Dan
job.
Stockford is good. Oh, come on, what with him?
Mhm.
Long story, but enough, and it's must be sometime.
Kathy, did the insurance agent come? Finally,
Yeah, but they gotta have some.
sorry.
Guy also showed up to look at what it would cost. But we still got work to do. They want the Panman taken down.
Have it on the agenda.
Yeah,
Yeah. On the agenda later down the line.
okay, we get the legal counsel when it's done. CEBE grant process.
Did anyone check off what they wanted, what's being done? The only thing left is step up action from the group, the community action that the town has already completed. Is waiting on this.
Well, there's here looking for,
Easier for you to sign.
about the heat pumps.
And energy efficient. Doors and lighting and. Or some of the things.
I think it says things that we have already done, completed.
Well, then we don't have much to check off now, do we?
Just heat pumps and,
We haven't done heat pumps, have we?
no, it was here looking.
That the town has already completed.
I think that makes it a pretty easy job, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, I don't understand this. I don't know.
Something, what I'm gonna suggest, Kathy, is if you go back here to the very first paragraph. There is, only thing left is to check off actions that the town has already completed. Is this the third sentence? Is this something you would like CB? They do pronounce it CB, to assist with. The list is fairly self-explanatory. It's the same one reviewed with a slightly different look. I'd be happy to sit down and walk through it at a select board meeting or another time if that is helpful. I guess I would have to say,
Yes.
you took the words right out of my mouth.
Like,
But, I
she
mean-
needs this as soon as possible.
Yeah, okay, so,
Last agenda.
at a select board meeting or at another time if that is helpful. I mean, that's, you know, I mean. You might be able to arrange to do it most any time. Depending on what your time looks like.
My time's my own.
Well, there you go.
I mean, some things are done, update the local, housing mitigation. plan.
Yep.
The municipal resolution, when do we do that? It says it's incomplete, but that's,
No, we did
I
that
thought
at the
we did
last
that.
meeting, and I mentioned this, but we didn't finish it.
Right.
So it's only thing she's waiting for.
Dave, we can check off. Install a heat pump system.
No,
But
haven't
we
done
didn't
that.
do that. We talked about maybe
Oh,
someday
okay.
doing it if we get the grants, et cetera, but
Right.
we haven't done that.
Okay, I don't know what we've done.
I mean, an awful lot of these things aren't appropriate to
apply
the
to
town.
this, that's right.
Don't apply to the town of Hartford.
we definitely want B2, upgrade to energy efficient interior lighting in municipal buildings. Energy efficient that we actually can see right.
But we just haven't done that.
Yeah.
She wants to know what we are completing.
It's interesting, they talk about interior, they don't say anything about the exterior. Oh, yes,
Exterior.
upgrade B5, upgrade streetlights and exterior lighting. With energy efficient LED lights, we did that a long time ago. As a matter of fact, we did that. Oh, probably in 19,
So. that was
18,
completed.
19. I would say that is. I mean, all the lights that go around this building. There are LED and they go off when they're not being used and they come on by motion. That's mighty energy efficient. And the lighting around the town office as well is all LED and motion sensitive.
Are they working now
So I think we did that.
outside? Checking off B5.
I
B5.
checked off B5.
Oh,
B2 also.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, 6 bulbs in here.
Mhm.
Probably those other ones are also,
we're gonna need some like indirect lighting from the side, I think. If you leave these here. And then you provide, do some indirect lighting from the sides, which you could shut off when you need to, but you could turn them on. Like when people are eating or. If someone has a dance in here or something, may not want bright lights, but
yeah, I mean, this is
the older I
fine.
get, the
This is
more I
fine.
like bright lights.
This is fine for ambient, but it's not much for reading now, is it?
Check off B2.
Well, we've done some,
Yep,
but we're no better off than we ever were in the town hall office.
I saw something about food, where was that?
But what, food?
I,
I think we might get into E before we get there. I would love to see us implement the source water protection program E7. But we haven't actually done that, other than the fact that we try to look after our lakes. But the town hasn't done anything specific about them, just through the lake
Lake
associations,
associations.
yeah.
but at least they're targeted.
For the
for that,
targeted,
they are, a lot of them. are
nonetheless, that doesn't,
residents.
I don't believe that we get to
Mhm.
check that off.
How about
Nonetheless.
D1, adopt policies that enable support or incentivize local food production and consumption, including community gardens. I know you adopted that.
Mhm.
ordinance.
Yeah, but we haven't adopted any policies.
No.
So the first two words.
No, but it says
the first
enable or
two-
support, and we did support like that cool trailer for a while.
The
We
honey, that's so long gone. And there's nothing to do with local food production. I don't think, if you read the first two words in that sentence is adopt policies.
Policies, right.
And adopt policies, we have not. I think that's something that we might want to consider. But we'll have to consider what the policies actually look like. Adopting policies that have been adopted by other towns might give us a template to work with, but we have not
Yeah.
done this yet.
We do participate in the National Flood Insurance Program,
There you go.
Which one's
Where
that?
was that one?
F6.
Okay.
I don't know if we're involved in the ratings.
Checking it off.
Mhm.
Yeah, sea level rise. Speed word requirements in the special flood hazard area. Yeah, no.
Have we adopted DEP stream smart crossing guidelines?
Have we? That's a good question. Which number is that?
G5.
Actually, see, I haven't moved on to G.
I think we have, haven't we?
I'd like to see us do F15. We talked about that too.
What's that?
Establish a peer-to-peer program for checking in on vulnerable community members during extreme heat or cold events. It's interesting that F14 talks about cooling centers, but it doesn't mention warming centers.
Right, in Maine, it's more about the warming than the cooling.
Not necessarily. When it gets hot, it gets pretty intolerable.
But if you're gonna count the days, definitely more colder than warmer. We're gonna focus on. Cooling shelter, it's a good
But you
idea.
don't have a warming shelter for chilly days. You have a warming shelter for if
Cold
it
days,
gets,
right.
if you
Oh, we
have,
lose our
you have a
power.
bad cold snap without power, then that's
Absolutely.
when you have to.
Well, I checked off the ones we discussed. Do you want to take a couple of days and let me know who's evening you want?
We got checked off 4.
I think that's all we're gonna find. 'Cause there's so many here that don't really apply to us.
Checked off 4, I guess.
Establish or recognize an official committee of community stakeholders.
We do B9,
B,
B9.
B,
No.
Well, I don't know that our code officer has had that particular training yet, but would.
I know he's had some training, but
Possibly not for that.
yeah.
Do we
construction of
want
new
to,
buildings.
do we want to look into getting training for him on the efficiency mains code trainings? I mean, what does that mean? You know, does that mean, all new houses shall have EV chargers? You know, I don't know what that
Probably
means.
not.
Well, I don't know what that means. You know what I'm saying? Because I see require EV charging readiness and solar energy readiness for all new construction.
Right, some might not want it.
You know, solar energy, solar panel readiness for all new construction is such a smart idea, but
Support
have to let
professional
people be-
development, I think that the more you know, the better it is. If he's gonna learn about better efficiency for energy. Under B9.
shall we at least look into it?
Because what would be cool is if you could share the information with the community. If you went to a training and shared better ways to create efficiency in your home, it'd be a public service to our,
I think this list includes everything that was talked about at the hearings that we want to do.
And then, and then
We
some.
have already.
Well, and we have, you know, we checked off a few,
Yeah, 5 of them, so.
seems so. And I think we have adopted the stream smart crossing guidelines, which is
So,
G5. Turn off the clicks, honey.
Thunder,
Pardon?
think this is enough. 5 of them, what we've done.
Well, you know, I don't know that, I mean, I think you should check G5 as well, because I think we, you know, that's when we work with Jeff, we're working with stream smart
Well, I think I did check that.
crossing guidelines.
Did you do B9? I don't know.
B9, I think, I put a question mark next to B9 because we haven't done it yet.
What 5 you have? I'm missing one.
Okay,
Well, I put B9, but
Okay.
question mark, I guess, I don't
All
know.
right, you got it then.
B2, B5, B9, G5.
it'd be great if we could have A10, but you know, of course, we still don't have. You know, if you still haven't got all of Main Street covered with broadband. We got this letter, what, a few weeks ago, was it Jane Quint? I think is her name, a woman who lives down the road. She has to rent a place in Livermore to go to work. Because she can't get
Can't get
broadband. She can't get broadband right on Main Street. And yet we've had broadband here at the town office on Main Street.
You know what, I had
since
to call
2019.
them. I had to call them and tell them I wanted it.
Yeah. Well, this woman is at many times, so I have B5. F6. I'm missing one here. F6 with nothing in the E's. B5. So I got like 3. I didn't write down all the same ones you did.
G5. F6.
F6. Guess I just didn't get it written down. Maybe you would have mixed it. Yeah, F6. G5, F6. Pretty much nothing in E, nothing in D. Nothing in C,
Yep.
D5.
Oh, yeah, B5. Wait,
B5.
what's that one?
It's a question mark.
Oh.
That's the question mark about code officer training.
Gotcha.
B2, B5, question mark,
B2?
B9. That's all I got.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose we should take credit for our lousy lighting.
The what?
The lousy lighting.
Definitely
One,
energy
two,
efficient.
three,
But we
well,
could take these side lights and do something with them, make them direct or indirect. We could replace those, make it so they point up, but when we need them to point out, we can do that. Do you know what I mean? Jelly bean, we could see.
did you just call me jelly bean?
I did, you know what I mean, jelly bean? You had them up there, they could point, and then if you could target them when we have meetings, so people could see or eat. That's what they were talking about the other night. Couldn't see to eat.
So we good on this? Make a motion that we,
I feel sorry for people who can't find the mouse.
make a motion to accept what we got checked down and send it.
I'll second that.
Yeah,
All in
and the
favor?
rest of it, you can say we're just working on it. Yes.
All in favor?
Oh, cyber policy, oh man.
Cyber policy.
So I just corrected, took up the town and a bunch of those spaces. If you remember from last meeting.
Is this a training you went to today?
No, I went to mental health first aid.
Mental health first aid?
But.
Was the presenter from NAMI,
MMA,
from MMA?
Yeah.
I had a presenter yesterday from National Association of Mental Illness, NAMI, Maine. It was not
oh, this wasn't.
very well focused.
Oh,
I went for a statewide one for some of the top companies in the state. They offered it.
Actions that will
Diffusing
impede or
difficult situations.
reduce the performance of information. Or the information resources.
so you guys didn't read it.
I looked at it earlier. Yeah, I looked at it earlier.
A lot shorter than mine at work.
Well, I'll tell you what, I did the password requirements part, just really sticks in my craw. You have to have a password that is 12 characters long, comprised of a minimum of 3 out of the following 4 types of characters.
Which is true for any site, easily required that now.
Yeah. They make me change mine every 60 days now. It's Brown. Just when I remember it, I have to
Oh, yeah.
change it again.
Oh, you know, I mean, of course, most of my passwords, I don't remember them. I just count on my
You'll
phone to
sign it.
remember it for me.
Your motion.
Oh, nice.
And I'll probably just have you sign the back page of the place to sign.
Passwords have to be changed every 365 days. Once a year. I'm gonna go.
You can change that word, isn't it?
That seems like a long time. Even twice a year would be better than once a year. If anyone's gonna. We're not submitting any financial data. People can't pay anything to us online. They're not, I mean, submitting financial data, like when Barbara sits at her computer, she's not putting credit card numbers in. She is putting credit card numbers in.
Well, we accept credit cards, yes.
Right, no, at the main computer, but does she have to log into that, or is that? So you each have your own passwords on that? And that resides on the hard line, not the Wi-Fi.
This is the guest Wi-Fi, I didn't set up the system. It's supposed to be a separate.
So, okay,
private
yeah,
call or.
yeah. I see it out there, but I can't log in. When I check for mobile
Town of
networks,
Hartford, this town of Hartford, and then this town of Hartford guests.
yeah, yeah.
you wanna take time to read this? I can.
I would really like to see the password change at least twice a year.
Twice a year.
Did I not mention that we're doing it every 60 days? My bank
So you want,
requires me
so,
to do it.
so is this
every-
misery loves company?
No, no, my credit union makes me change it every quarter. And so I think that twice a year is very minor,
The credit union makes you change your
Mhm.
password?
every quarter. Yeah,
No,
for my online banking.
I don't do online banking. So
I guess
I've
it's
never
now
had to
called
face that.
my credit union, digital banking.
I
It's how it's done,
don't do
once a
that.
quarter. Rest looks very standard to what I had to sign. Not that we're the top tier or not, but
Yeah, I looked at this earlier.
the only people with town of Hartford emails is you and Barbara. Ian,
You remember Doug Christ wanted us, all the select board to have a town of Hartford email address?
I know there's some Gmails in there and I don't touch my agents. Email, I did make a Yahoo email for some reason.
I don't have
Because
that.
you weren't able,
Right,
you
so
weren't
you
able
have
to get in
Right.
somewhere else.
I don't have a problem with this, I guess.
No, I don't either,
No?
really. I mean, I'm profoundly grateful that I don't have to regularly
Participate.
change a 12 character email
with
with no,
uppercase,
no action.
lowercase, number,
And,
and
and,
special
no-
character.
and no words. No dictionary words, no names, no names of pets,
And when
nothing.
you change it, it can't be any variation of the previous one, because I used to go like,
10, no, you can't reuse any of your last 10 ones.
I make a motion that we accept this agreement.
I second that.
All in favor?
With any changes?
I would like to change that password requirement to twice a year.
Misery loves company.
Twice a year, it's not every 60 days or once a quarter. Twice a year.
Just twice the misery.
For Leanne and Barbara, which is,
Which is standard because they get to be miserable anyway, right?
well, I'm just saying, twice a year is nothing.
There's about. So
Okay,
is that
we-
amendment to the motion?
I would like to make an amendment to the motion that we change our passwords twice a year.
Yeah, I second it. All in favor? Lee's halfway.
Yeah, you know.
Okay,
I'm gonna abstain because I
Get
think that's
that out.
ridiculous.
yes.
I think once a year was a grand plenty.
So every 6 months.
Sorry to say.
No,
You just initial or sign the back page and send it off to the, and then,
This here back page,
yeah, maybe date and. Just so she knows it's approved.
all of us are just one.
Looks to me like there's a whole lot of signature pages there. You just need a signature on the back page?
Yeah.
Okay,
it's like a signature page printed for every single page, huh?
No, that's.
That's
for
not even a
employee
signature.
system.
That's not
Oh,
even,
gotcha.
that's not even a signature page. Actually, that one is for each individual.
You still have people on there?
Yep. Richard, Lenny, Marla, Sarah. and Tim.
Thank you. Okay, infrastructure catalyst grant letter of intent deadline, April 21st. 23.
So Jeff has been working on to help us apply for some of these grants. There's so many out there being offered.
Mhm.
Lessons are,
ASCOG is recommending that we focus on the hazard mitigation grants.
I read through that, a lot of it, oh, not the hazard mitigation, the one on the border stuff. Was really time intensive and paperwork intensive.
Right, but if we want to do that one, we have to send a letter of intent. That it's not changed. And we have to choose projects that we're applying for.
Bim and Jeff are supposed to be meeting here right off. We'll try to get some areas named off.
Put it in their hands. I mean, it's not just roads that you can apply for, it's other things too.
What's that?
It's not just roads.
No.
There's a lot of information if you look at the.
so where on the agenda is, am I missing something here?
Hmm?
I'm just looking on the agenda about the bankruptcy court stuff. Are we supposed to discuss that at some point?
Second one in executive session.
So, well, because it's. I just found it there, so.
So what else besides roads does hazard mitigation include? I mean, do we have any?
You know, that's pretty much just road and waterways, but. The catalyst has other. That's a pretty good manual.
You know, it seems to me like it covers some of the same ground as what we were just looking at with the community resilience
Yeah,
stuff.
Yeah, Jesse. Renewable energy, telecommunications. Transportation and basic public infrastructure. Facilities, system structures.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what,
You know, I think Jeff
where
is gonna
we
help
would
with all
go
these, won't he?
For a cost.
to, you know, to the, yeah. I mean, it is what he does for a living, after all.
So he'll just need to know what you want to apply for. If you just want roads, that's fine.
So
Any
I've got a
different-
question. Up to 100,000, that's not 100, there's $1 million maximum award to eligible infrastructure projects. Up to $500,000 maximum award for other types of eligible projects. Will our new town office qualify as infrastructure?
Maybe so. I just read out public buildings, repair and construction of public buildings.
You know, I think that's a direction we should probably be aiming. You know, we've put aside some monies and then.
I've heard of them
and-
helping.
And we've put aside some monies for this. And we're discussing in budget committee meetings about putting aside some more money towards this, which means that we would have at least some match available. And it also shows community,
Buy-in.
community buy-in, community desire to move forward with such a project. Which is
I
big.
don't know. It says the definition of public infrastructure includes specific projects such as collection and distribution systems, treatment plants, and other infrastructure that collects, treats, and delivers drinking water, so probably not.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I don't think we're gonna put in a.
What if we
public water
did a town
system
office
company.
with a recycling center on one end for all of our cardboard and jugs and so that they wouldn't need
You
a
know,
recycling truck and
You know something, you have no idea how big a deal
I
it
know.
would be to put in any kind of a recycling program. That would be a huge DEP permitting.
Oh, I was thinking
project.
more of
Mm.
one stop for Archie's to pick up recycling. People bring the recycling here, put it in the bins. Archie picks it up once.
Our
instead of-
people are not going to carry their recycling anywhere. They like curbside.
No, it looks like roads for number one.
we'll just let Jeff hang on down, work on it.
Yep.
I mean, I would. Because
We
I have
used
to
to in
take my,
Saco,
I have to
we
take my
barely
recycling, I have to take my recycling anyway, because I don't get curbside pickup.
Anything for open session?
God, let's hope not.
Anybody on
Unfortunately,
Zoom?
there is. I have a question.
Go ahead, Marla.
What is the current rate for swim passes? What is the policy? Because Lee and Kathy, we were talking and it was $15 per family. Didn't matter how many vehicles were involved. It was the $15 for every residence. And now I'm being told that it's different.
20
What
was 20
is the cost
for swim lesson passes for the beach.
of?
Yeah, 20 for the swimming lesson passes for one
If
vehicle.
we have swim lessons though.
Right, and
No,
15,
was not the $20 for a season pass for swim lesson participants who are not residents of Hartford? Is that not correct?
right,
That's what I thought, Lee. Yes.
right.
That was my understanding.
But
And
residents were $15 per residence, right?
Annual
per
Per
household,
vehicle.
yes.
per
Per
vehicle.
Every, so even if we, per vehicle? Because when we talked in person, it was for the whole house, because I explained that we sometimes have to take different vehicles down to the beach.
Yeah, that's the trouble.
Oh, that's just only just one of the troubles as far as I can tell.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't even tried this policy yet since we put it in place. We have very limited parking at this point. And I think that the per vehicle, depending on your vehicle, if you've got a family of 8 or 10 or want to bring guests and you need a second vehicle, then you're going to need either a guest pass or to buy a second vehicle pass. And we'll see how it works this summer when we have more parking, which hopefully will be soon.
It
Then
won't
I
be for
think-
another couple of years.
I guess
then-
I'm not asking what we think. I'm asking what the policy is. What is the policy?
$15 per vehicle.
$15 per vehicle.
Okay, because I need to know what we're petitioning because that's ridiculous.
Excuse me, but at the last meeting, you told me that a second vehicle would be $5.
We didn't vote on that. We were discussing that.
We
as
were
an option.
discussing it.
Okay. So are you discussing an extra 15 or are you voting on it?
At this point, the
already-
policy says $15.
Per vehicle or per resident?
Vehicle,
It
That's-
says $15 per vehicle.
right.
I don't remember that wording, but that's
Yes,
okay.
15 15 a
What?
vehicle.
My brain leaks, so you know.
We'll
Do we
try
have
it out, see how it
updated
works.
policy that we could look at?
What'd you say, Marla?
Is there an updated policy somewhere that we can, like, is it posted somewhere that I can read it?
Website, it's in the office. I emailed it to everyone.
Did you,
Could you hear Leanne just now?
I couldn't find it on the website.
Under
She-
beach.
under the beach?
She says it's on the website under beach.
Actually, it's right on the home page. And it's under beach, the ordinances, the policies.
And it's right in the
I
town
can't-
office when you come in too.
I can only occasionally even look at the calendar. I get, when I go to the website, I get, the capture, you know, you have to,
Oh,
you have to,
Yeah.
say which squares have bicycles in it. I'll do this.
I
I'll
just have a
note it.
secondary quick question.
Says
Do
on-
we know when our deed expires to get a parking lot in? I am under the impression that we have to have a parking lot put in according to the deed when it was granted access for the beach area within 30 years. When does that expire or come into play?
When did what expire? The 30 years?
Right.
I
When
think
did
it
you
was,
know that
I
was
think
it?
it was 89.
89
And
is
so
when we got it.
99, yeah, 99. 2009. 19.
So we're a little over.
What's new?
So what happens now?
What do you mean, what happens now?
If we're out of ordinance for the deed, or if we're not abiding by our end of the deed, what happens now?
We carry on as best we can.
And we have a plan to fix it.
Can we pull it?
We're hoping to be working on that this summer.
We are gonna be working on that this summer.
As far as I know, we have an active plan to do so.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I just checked the beach policy on the website and it says $15 per resident.
For resident. that would
That's
be
what it
quite
says.
expensive.
Well, maybe that means by car.
That doesn't mean for.
Well, that's not what it says. It says resident pass $15.
Okay, so say I got a beach pass. And it would be for me. And however many I can put in a vehicle,
That's not what it says.
right?
Well, we could make the list very, very long. When people register their cars, they often will purchase a beach pass and it's for anybody that's in their vehicle. If we need to expand on that and say that a beach pass is per vehicle,
The Pine Shores parking lot ordinance states that you need a pass on each vehicle.
And if I'm a resident and I own 3 vehicles, then I would pay $15 for all 3 vehicles, right? If it's
correct?
per resident.
That's right.
Yep.
If it's resident pass $15, you should be able to bring any one of your vehicles.
What is it at Turner?
So Turner is not a good example. They have a huge parking lot. And they have a person standing at the gate. It's a whole gated beach. You cannot get in unless you walk through that gate at their time that they specify. And she has a clipboard and you show that you've purchased your pass.
I've already sold a bunch of beach passes, but I don't know if we should change things this year.
We haven't even tried the policy yet. I think
Well,
we
the
need
policy isn't clear.
$15 a car.
it is $15 a car.
But does it say per resident?
It says beach pass, resident beach pass.
So what does the Pine Shores parking lot ordinance say? Each vehicle must have a pass.
If your vehicle has a pass, you're a resident.
You can't just make that up on the spot.
But in the past, when we had to buy a beach sticker,
We bought one and we could put it in any vehicle we took to the
No.
beach because they were on
it's supposed to be per
elastic.
vehicle.
That was Isaac's little idea. That was never.
No, no, no.
That was Becky's idea.
That was Becky who put them on elastics.
Well, that was their own doings.
Yeah.
Well, because there was no policy.
But we are
And it
trying
made
something that
sense
to
for
hopefully
families
make
that
it,
had a lot of vehicles that were transporting from different areas. Like, it makes sense to have a pass that you can move.
The problem is with that, we've been having with people moving their passes is you'd go down to the beach, the parking lot, and you'd look and there'd be no pass in their windshield. You go down to the beach and you start asking questions and they would say, oh, I forgot it. Oh, I don't know, it's in the other vehicle. I mean, they kept making up excuses and you know they want
That's
from,
baloney stuff.
or,
Well, and
or
then you have
town
people
people had
and then
in-town
people
passes.
who don't want something that says town of Hartford on their vehicle because, oh my God, what might happen?
I know you couldn't have a big decal or anything that says anything on the
Dear
side.
God.
It
Well,
has to be
well,
like a
well,
pass.
or you certainly can't say where it's from. Oh my God. You know, I mean. what
that's
might
why we
happen?
did it, to be stuck on the vehicles is because there's so many excuses.
And we didn't want it passed around.
Well, were we the
out-of-towners
people
have
who were making the
in-stock-
excuses? We're the ones being asked to pay for what other people did. They likely weren't residents.
That's right, that's why we,
Standardized it.
So you're making the residents pay $15 a year instead of $5 for a lifetime because non-residents were cheating.
We're gonna try to help support the cost of the beach with the new buoys, the new things. Hopefully help support any activities that are going on down there, including supporting the rec committee. With,
Well, if it's about money, you really should have every resident pay $5 and then you would have thousands instead of hundreds.
no.
Don't give me that fiscal
I think it
argument.
needs to be a use
Actually,
pass.
actually, she is right in terms of the numbers. She's right.
Well, sure, we could do that with many things. But to me, if people want to use the beach, they should pay for the beach. I know
You
if
can say
I-
that because you have
If I
your
want
own
to,
beach.
if I want to ride, I already bought a beach pass.
Good for you.
So, but if I want to ride my ATV, I have to pay to do that. And the funds come right back to the town for them to put into the recreational trails. It's a pay to use. The state gives the funds right back and it goes, same thing with snowmobiling. So in my mind, I have to pay to use these trails. I should have to pay to use a beach, and I am happy to buy a beach pass. I don't know if I'll ever use it, besides when I go down to help, you know, monitor or walk the beach or see what's going on as the select person. But we've tried to set some rules. We don't know if they're gonna work perfectly or not, but we haven't even tried them yet.
Right, but you've heard from the community on what they want with this beach, and you're not listening. Aren't you supposed to help us make like good rules set in place for us to help us? We've told you guys that we don't want this. I'm not sure how much more clear we can be.
You don't want what? A beach pass?
We don't want to pay this much money for a beach pass.
But yet, I'm looking at the cost of just doing anything and the cost of upkeep for this beach. And
How much is the cost
I
of
think $15 is barely nothing, considering you can't even take 2 people to the movies for one
And
day.
again, you would
For
have
one- for 2
thousands if
tickets.
everybody in
Movies.
town paid.
This is a summer-long beach pass.
The fiscal
on.
argument is dumb. You would have thousands if everybody in town paid $5.
I
You
don't
will
think we're
have-
gonna get that past
can't
the
change it
people that don't
now.
show up.
You will have hundreds, maybe, with these passes.
I think you've heard from a lot of people that they don't want this to happen. I'm not sure how many people you've heard from that they do want this to
Going.
happen.
Hold on, Lenny. What did you say?
I'm not talking, that's Marla.
Oh, okay, hold
sorry,
on a minute,
Marla.
Marla, sorry.
What I said was that, policy can be changed at any time. Now.
I
yeah,
think we need to
it's
try it.
true-
We need to
It's
try it.
true, that what about the people who already paid? I mean, maybe you want to just say done is done for now and look at it when the wheel is turned again. But,
I think
I mean, Lenny's
$15
right
is the
about
minimum.
if everybody was charged $5, on the other hand, people who don't go to the beach at all probably shouldn't need to buy a pass.
Correct.
And they don't.
There are a lot of people that don't like to use the beach, don't like to be out in the sun.
There's gonna be a lot of families that won't buy a pass though, if we charge a lot of money for them.
I don't know how many we've sold already, but
I think we need to try the rules we've got in place. We had a hearing, we took everyone's opinion into effect. I certainly want people to use the beach, but I want to have enough money to help support those costs and make it a safe and effective beach policy as best we can. If it doesn't work, I will be the first person to say, let's change this sucker.
How will you know that it doesn't work?
If it doesn't work, if we don't
Well-
have enough parking because
Well-
everyone buys a pass and has 5 or 6 cars all with their own home residence,
no, we can
If
go
the-
by the following
if
years, how many bought them.
guest policy, any of the policies. I just
Will you
think
look
that-
at the obesity rates in our local schools and see if those have increased and continue to increase, to see if we should probably be more supportive of them going to the beach and being outdoors?
I can't. I
Or-
just-
She said, well, we look at the obesity rates in the local schools.
What's that got to do with swimming?
Well, I think she's inferring that getting outside and swimming would
Right,
help
they can
people
start
with their
walking on
obesity.
all these open trails too. Many obese people don't want to be in a swimsuit.
I'm sorry to say, yes.
That is really crude.
No, I'm talking about somebody like
Yeah.
myself that's very large that doesn't like to be in a swimsuit.
Nonetheless, Kathy? You're the chairman.
I know, I've been thinking.
Don't just think. Do. This is open session.
I have a quick question.
What? Go ahead.
So,
Who is
the,
speaking? Excuse me, who is speaking? We
This is
can't see you, so we just hear your voice.
this is Natasha. So when we hired the constable I thought, but I'm not sure, isn't the $15 passes going to pay for his salary?
Correct.
Presumably, it's going to offset that.
So would that be a telltale sign if this doesn't work? So what if we don't sell enough passes to pay for his salary? Where does the rest of the money for his salary come from? And would
Tax
that
credit.
be something that we reconsider at the end of the year, come the end of August? We didn't sell enough passes. We don't have enough money to pay for his salary. Where does the rest of this money come from? All that.
So we added hours to the constable's job description so that we would have monitoring at the beach. The constable has other, which we just talked about tonight, earlier in the evening, about other obligations. The constable has a job description. But if adding hours to the constable's wages to his job description doesn't work, then we're gonna change it. We're trying this scenario this summer. We haven't even tried it yet. We don't know if it works.
That's fine. So like, So say I don't even know how much we paid him. I'm sorry, I missed the former conversation, but if we pay him whatever, $2,000 a year, if we only sell $200 worth of beach passes, where does the rest of the money come from to pay for the
It comes
cost?
from it's come from tax dollars, just like everybody else who gets paid for the town, from ballot clerks to town clerk. And the idea of the $15 was to help offset the cost
Offset.
of monitoring the beach. It's, no matter what we did, it's only going to offset that cost.
And the new
It's not going,
signage,
it's not going to cover the cost. We're not going to sell a few passes and then when we're done selling passes, once he's exceeded that amount, tell him to go home. Because that would not be taking care of our beach now, would it?
we're also looking at upgrading signage. Some of the signage down there is pretty ratty looking and faded, and we're looking at putting signage out at the beach about boats, adding new buoys and roping to keep our swimmers safe and keep boats away from the swimmers. There's
Right.
lots of improvements we'd like to make for the beach to be a,
And that ain't counting the damage that's been done by individuals.
Right, including the vandal damage, plus then there is the upgrade or the proposed upgrade to the walkway. And repairs, upgrade/repairs.
the railings broken on the boardwalk.
In any case,
Yeah.
if we really need to, we could put this on a future agenda, but we have well exceeded the scope and purpose of open session at this time. So.
Hello,
Somebody. had
Go
to
ahead,
say it, for
Richard.
God's sake,
yeah, hello.
Hello,
you have as much right to not let.
I'm waiting for attention.
yeah, I said hello.
Yeah, I haven't been watching the whole thing, so I don't know exactly what's been going on. I wasn't here to give a school board report. The last meeting of the school board went over the budget line by line by line. And their objective is to have every town increase under 5.5%. The one town that was over was Buckfield at 5.5 as of March 27th school board meeting. Now, that they hope to gain with the medical coming in less than what they've budgeted, which is what they always do. And then I heard that our governor has come up with $46 million to spread around various school districts. Now, I don't know how much our RSU 10 might or might not get out of that, but that might help bring that budget Buckfields down. In any case, I think we're looking, based on everything I've seen, at an increase this year between 2.5% and 3%. I think that's about what ours was right about at the middle of about a 3%, 2.5% to 3% increase in the school budget. Now that's my update as far as school is concerned. I have a question. Before I came on tonight, I'm not sure what was discussed, and I'd be interested to know if there was discussion of the amount that the food bank is asking for next year, or did you not discuss that tonight?
No, we didn't discuss that tonight.
We will
You did.
discuss that at the,
Budget.
I should imagine we would discuss that at the budget meeting.
I think I understood that they were asking, did I understand Polly to say they were asking for $1,000 or something like that? And there was some discussion of whether that was at your last meeting or whether that was
No,
more than necessary.
no, we'll be discussing that at the budget meeting.
Which is when?
Wednesdays throughout the month of April.
During the month of April?
Yeah,
Every Wednesday,
Alright.
yeah.
Maybe I'll try to watch that because of course that, I think Polly presented Kathy with a letter from Bill Glass from Sumner regarding the school, regarding the food bank,
yep.
which I would hope might be presented at the budget meeting
Yeah, it
or
will be.
discussed at the budget meeting.
Yeah, it will be.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, Lenny and Marla, we'll put this beach on the next agenda at our next meeting. Okay?
Thank you.
I
Okay,
think $15 is a very reasonable amount. Try to go to a state park for $15 just
Okay.
once over the summer. You'll be lucky to get in if you've got 4 or 5 people in the car. I think that's very reasonable.
okay, new business. Certification of proposed ordinances by municipal officers, administration ordinance, part 2 amended. Is that in here too, or just? It's just the ordinance.
So this whole 216 section of plumbing inspector is all new?
We already went through it. Just a reminder that your packets are ready at noon on Mondays. You want to pick them up earlier too.
Hold out there, isn't it?
She's not wearing a jacket.
Okay, and the certification of proposed ordinances by municipal.
Any motion
Oh.
on that one?
I move we accept the certification of proposed ordinance for the changes to the amendments to the administrative ordinance.
I second it. All in favor?
Excuse me, did I miss a meeting to know what those amendments are?
Mm.
Would you like to hear what the amendments are?
Yes, please.
Page 5, person.
Page 3. Under 210C. There is the word select board. Page 5. 216 plumbing inspector. A, there shall be a licensed plumbing inspector appointed by and hired by the select board as a town employee and therefore guided by the personnel policy. The select board shall notify the department and the Department of Public Safety Office of the State Fire Marshal of the appointment of a plumbing inspector in writing within 30 days of the appointment. Certification B, certification requirements. A person may not hold the office of plumbing inspector unless currently certified as qualified pursuant to state law. Certification is effective for a period of 5 years unless sooner revoked or suspended by the district court. The LPI shall assume statutory responsibilities associated with plumbing inspections. I'm not bothering to tell you, of course, adding something always changes the numbers of the various sections. I'm not telling you that part. We just add that? So 227 is going to be tax payments pursuant to Title 36, Maine Revised Statutes Annotated Section. That does not say section, there should be a T in there. Section 906, the tax collector shall apply any tax payment received from an individual as payment for any property tax against outstanding or delinquent taxes due on said property in chronological order, beginning with the oldest unpaid tax bill, provided, however, that no such payment may be applied to any tax for which an abatement application or appeal is pending unless approved in writing by the taxpayer. Excuse me. And under section 237, I think, other standing committees, under this, the cemetery committee shall have a minimum of 5 members with no maximum, appointed by the select board and shall act as advisory to the select board. Members shall be appointed to have staggered 5-year terms. Any individual, regardless of their residence, that has a cemetery plot or family member that has a plot in the town of Hartford is allowed to be a member of the cemetery committee. The road committee, ordinance committee, and solid waste committee shall have 5 members appointed by the select board and shall act as advisory to the select board. Members shall be appointed to serve a staggered 5-year term. All committees may have 2 alternative members appointed by the select board for a 1-year term. Each such alternate member may attend all meetings of the committee, but shall be without vote unless one or more of the regularly designated members of such committee fails to attend a meeting. In the absence of one or more of the regular members of the committee, such alternate member or members may be counted towards a quorum and may vote as though they were regular members of the committee. Forgive me. In the event there are more alternate committee members present than there are absent regular committee members, the alternate members shall have the right to vote in order of their appointment. And then below that, all members of the committee, and this is this change, with the exception of the cemetery committee, shall be residents of the town of Hartford for the duration of their terms. I believe that is all the changes.
So the select board has accepted that there will be people on the cemetery committee who don't live in Hartford?
It's not likely to happen often, but it could happen.
Huh. Thank you.
You are welcome. Leanne, I'm so sorry. I just found you showing her that. So it's just it is just a typo. Just a little typo. Okay, this wasn't the signed copy anyway, this is just the. No, wait, a minute, where is the signed copy? Okay, she's got the signed copy. This must be your copy then.
This is the pile of.
Is that
yeah.
your copy that I
Yep.
just marked?
Here.
Okay, no, this is something else. Okay, sorry.
Okay, the next one, certification of proposed ordinances by municipal officers, shoreline zoning ordinance amended.
And this is not a true copy of the ordinance entitled because this is only one page, but,
Thank God.
but it's the table.
Yes,
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Oh, God help us, yeah.
It really is such a short little.
It's just a little something. Oh, God. So 13A.
Planning board had a hearing Monday night. There were no objections.
Nope. Man. What was that?
Did anybody show up?
Me?
Just you?
Mm-hmm.
13A. Under Resource Protection District, what? Oh, in any case. I know they're good with this. It's a fact thing. Do we need to sign onto this? You have
Okay.
something,
The front page.
the front page. Oh, that happened. I should put the middle initial in there. That doesn't happen very often.
I apologize for asking you to read all that. I have a sick family member and can't always go to meetings I want to go to.
No, it's okay. I didn't mind as long as you didn't mind my.
Kathleen? You have a
Nope,
sign.
that's fine.
It's probably just Kathy.
Make a motion
I'd be
that we
willing to bet.
accept these proposed ordinances, and if there's any
That's right.
amended,
Probably
second. All in favor?
Oh, who seconded it?
Sue seconded.
And here we have the contract for fire department services, but did we not discuss last night that
We
we
have
would make a
another one?
request? That they would include their,
It was a public hearing. for children.
And I'm gonna contact them and ask,
right, so that's gonna be tabled for tonight? Is that my understanding? From our meeting last night with the budget committee?
That's for current year. They already provided the services. I think they were okay with the contract. They just wanted a list of roads.
yeah, yeah. And what the, per capita fee was per family.
So you're gonna wait till the next meeting on that?
You know,
I'd be happy to call and see if we can get that added to the contract. Just so
I
it
can
is a
hold
part
on
of
to
it.
At the office until we get the list of roads.
yeah, that's probably what makes better sense, and that way it's all signed and ready to
Yeah.
go, because this is, in fact. It's kind of odd that they would send us the contract after having served.
I think because of turnover and change over there
And she found it, I thought I explained that.
last night.
Over an employee, she found it stuffed.
Yeah. I guess I know how these things work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now turnover and employees, what would that be?
And lost stuff.
We
Did
do.
you sign the hearing?
Yeah, she's signing it now.
You gonna sign that? Well, Pat, or you send it over there? No. I just signed this, but that's not the actual copy, that's my copy.
The motion on the hearing?
I move that we approve the date of public hearing. For June 8th, 2023,
I second it.
for the shoreline zoning amendment.
All in favor? Okay, Canton Fire contract.
What time is the hearing again?
It is for 7 p.m.
It's the same hearing that
Mhm.
can be scheduled for all of the warrant articles.
That's what I thought.
You look as tired as anyone.
It's already in. Yay. It's already in my calendar.
What are you so excited? Yeah.
Today again, it's already in.
Well, I more or less had it because I had a select board meeting, but it's all the same.
You need a motion on.
Yep, I make a motion that we approve Canton Fire Department contract.
With the addition of the roads.
And with the provision, the provisio, that Leanne will hold this until such time as we
Mhm.
have a list of the roads that they cover.
Right.
Okay. And provisio, isn't that what they call it? And go to law school.
Do I have
I
a
know.
second? All in favor? Turner Fire Rescue.
He hasn't responded,
He hasn't?
so I don't have that one yet.
All right.
Hey, Hawkins lives at Whitney Brookside Lane? Huh, I'll be damned,
Moved up there.
no doubt.
AvCog General Assembly ballot.
I just have a quick question for Leanne. Before we get to that.
What the hell
Sorry,
is
I
that?
just don't whistling off me. Thinking we might be done.
Yeah, we might.
Leanne,
be.
who is the contact person at Canton that I should contact? And ask for those additional things?
I think Dave said Jason Bond, did he give you?
Oh, he did,
Yeah.
Jason Vaughn, yep. For the fire department, no one within the town office, just fire department.
I would start with him.
Okay,
Pardon me. So,
It's a birthday party.
yep. 80th birthday, she's not 80.
Mm-hmm.
She is?
Wow, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I had no idea. Well, you want to have a big party, imagine?
The official motion on both those.
You just saying this.
Yeah, sure. Not bad. So the question is, who do we want to have as our General Assembly representatives? For many years now, it has been me and Leslie Bliss. Have we heard from Leslie
No.
as to whether she wants to do this or not?
I think she's on.
Yeah, she's on the ballot.
Oh, okay. She's that, well, no, there's two things, there's two questions here. One is, who is our General Assembly representative? There has to be one, it has to be an elected official, and the other one can be somebody else. And I would assume that since she's on the ballot, that she wants to continue to be the General Assembly representative from as a resident.
Mhm. I presume so.
And a lot of times I have other things to do, but I would assume that I would also continue as the AvCog representative from the select board.
Second it.
Unless somebody else is really keen on it.
Nope.
no,
Okay, so,
Does that have to be voted on? Was that a motion? Or not a motion?
I guess so. I mean,
So we nominated you.
yeah, I
She
agree,
volunteered.
or you could say I agreed to continue to serve as AvCog
So it wasn't a motion.
General Assembly representative.
Right.
No, I'm not gonna put my email or her email because they already know it. And shall I assume that we want to vote for their slate of candidates? We don't have any write-ins for president
No.
or vice president
No.
or treasurer
No.
or secretary clerk. I mean, we want to have somebody who's from
Town.
town, right? Wait a second. Official ballot and official ballot. Wait a minute. Do they have to have us do it twice? Wednesday, April 26th. So there you go. And I'll put that in too, because see, they do hold it on a Wednesday, and Wednesday's the one day that I do have off, so there you go. Wednesday, April 26th.
Okay, BYOB permit applications, Russell and Salisbury.
I move we approve.
We moved it, we approve these,
Hell, yeah.
okay,
You'll drink to
all in
that.
favor?
You
Want to second it?
Yes.
All in favor?
Or I'm not gonna be invited, I don't doubt, but.
Okay. Town office damage.
The estimator came out Monday, right?
Yes.
After going to Heartland and then back. He's waiting.
He went to Heartland?
They given the address for Heartland.
Oh, man.
Which isn't next to Hartford.
It is sure as hell not
No,
next to
I've been to
Hartford.
Metropolitan Heartland.
No way.
And I had someone show up at the same time to give an estimate on the block work, but he wouldn't give one until we removed all the panel on the inside. So I called Dave Bowen to see if he would maybe give an estimate for the interior work and remove the paneling. And he said he might give an estimate for the whole thing. And he said you could tell by the outside what's damaged, and he thinks it's pretty bad.
You said it's cracked all the way
Yeah.
across.
But then I talked to Joe and he's thinking you could just patch it up, so I don't know. We really have to wait for some estimates. And then give them to the estimator.
Go from there.
David goes on vacation. I don't know how long he's gone, just a week, I think.
Now, executive session.
Thank you, everyone, for attending. Have a good night.
Back on after.
What do we have after? Kathy, you wanna make a motion that we go into
Yeah.
executive session?
We're gonna make a motion to go into executive session.
Pursuant
We have
to
to pursuant to MRSA
section,
Section 1, Chapter 13, Section 405, 6,
E,
and E, and 2019 tax foreclosure. And we have to sign off with you guys that are in on Zoom.
Was there a second?
I have a second.
All in favor?
Hold on. Nobody's left, but he's gone, I think. Yep. I don't know when you went in, but 9:35.
We have a question.
Yeah. He's gonna have a supplement, which he has 60 days. It's gonna be included in this. Oh, yes, another one in December, yes. I do know. Yes. No, no. Yeah, we have a. December 1st. Yeah.
Payment for taxes is due, in December. Why would we tell them that? You would think so, but it's not 50 years. Well, the public access, and I do something about, I didn't understand, I've been sick. If you don't.
We'll lean him, just like everybody else.
If you don't. Well, it's like years from now. Well, you know,
Do you think we should, because I don't know how the hearing works in the court, do you think we should ask the lawyer to see if the court will work in our favor a little bit, it compromise in between the two, the 12? Yeah. So can I mention that to the lawyer, maybe? Okay. Right. So you, I don't know of any. No, I think this is the only, oh no. I don't know what I gave you for correspondence. So there's, you might have some of that. But no one's on there. I'm sorry. I think it's Portland, right? Yes.